At rrcats.com, we have everything that you need to sell your catalytic converters. We have an easy quoting system that you can send pictures or serial numbers to. We have the ability to get your cats graded within 1 business day. You'll get quick payment via PayPal or check. If you look at our Google reviews and our other online reviews, you will feel confident with the team at rrcats.com to be able to purchase your catalytic converter time and time again. We look forward to earning your business at rrcats.com today.
One of our goals is to answer as many questions from you as we've had. We have one question that we're going to be leading off with in a couple of seconds. But don't forget, every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, we like to do our weekly report. When you have questions, if you have questions, let us know. We'll be able to go from there. It looks like we already have some things flowing in.
So the first question to start you off this week is we had a question on one of our YouTube videos. How many grams of precious metals are inside a GM Pancake Cat?
Sure.
And do they have a cap to access the beads and pellets inside? Or are the precious metals on the shell of the cat too?
Yeah, great question about catalytic converters. And these pancake cats that you're talking about, we refer to them as bead cats. They're larger, they're generally much larger units. They're about so big, 2 foot by 16 inches. They're about 3 to 4 inches thick. On the top of them, there is a small cap. It almost looks like a cap from an old oil can that you gotta, or a paint can almost, where you gotta put the flathead screwdriver in and pry that thing up. Now, the precious metals are never outside of the catalytic converter on the shell. They're always on the inside. On regular catalytic converters, they're on the inside of the honeycomb, but on these beaded cats, there are small beads inside that look like little BBs from pellet gun or BB gun. Those are what contain the precious metals. To know how much material you have from those precious metals, there's only one way to do it. You gotta refine them. There's no way to guess. But what we've done at RR Cats, we know how much material is in those on average from refining multiple types. So we are able to quote those through rrcats.com in a much easier, faster, and of course, more efficient way. Hopefully, by you giving us the opportunity to buy that catalytic converter, you'll have a much easier time of knowing what it's worth. Here we are on April 7th, 2021, and there are so many things going on in the scrap world. And of course, while we're live, feel free to ask questions. And one thing we really want to highlight, we have our Medal of the Month. Copper is our Medal of the Month. And this Friday, we have another podcast from our new podcast series, Scrap You Later, coming out just talking about the history of copper, as well as different things that are going on. So if you haven't subscribed to our podcasts, anywhere that you download podcasts from, whether it's the iTunes Store, Spotify, or any other podcast distributor, you'll be able to download and listen to all of our different episodes. Don't forget, our podcast is called Scrap You Later. So here we are, week over week, we've seen copper prices have a very funny fluctuation, and I'll explain why. A week ago, we saw the prices around $4 per pound on the trading level. It dipped down slightly to $3.97, $3.98. And on Monday morning, we came into work and copper was up 14 cents. Yippee was the immediate reaction. The second one was, why is this happening? Figuring out why these things happen are so important. And as we found out, there was a strike at a mine. There was going to be a shortage of copper ore coming out, and that was a primary focus on why the market shot up out of nowhere on Monday. Now here we are 2 days later on Wednesday. That 14-cent jump actually was about 13 cents. It jumped down yesterday, dropped about 7 cents a pound. On So what's today, Wednesday? Yeah, today we have 6 cents down. So that market jump actually ended up almost evening out. We're slightly above where we were, but we have seen the markets really steady around that $4 per pound mark. But it looks like we have another question.
We do have a question from Eric. Is there a market value for magnets like neodymium?
Yeah.
I believe it's called, and others, and their value, also heating elements?
Yeah, neodymium magnets are not really that desirable. When we look at all of the different magnet types, the one that has the highest value is generally alnico magnets. And alnico magnets are sometimes found in hard drives, but one of the things that people ask us when they take apart different electronics is what they should do with those magnets. Now, magnets that come out of something like a speaker, they're round, they have a ceramic type of a look to them. Well, they're exactly that. They're like a ceramic type of a thing, and they don't really have any precious metals inside. But we tell scrappers, when you take these electronics apart and you have a magnet in them, it's the best thing to keep so you can use it to check your steel and everything else. But the neodymium magnets have they have a resale value, but right now, unless you have a lot of weight, it's not going to be really high. Was there a second part to that question?
Also heating elements.
Oh, so heating elements is another very commonly asked question. And one thing we'd like to kind of debunk, and we're going to be doing a podcast on debunking different things from household items that people think are worth money. Heating elements from stoves, from gas ranges, are often only coated with nickel. Now think about what it looks like. It's round, it's almost like a thumbprint. It has that swirly thing, gets red hot, whether it's electric or if it's a gas powered one, you might have it so it kind of goes there, generally electric ones. They're only coated with nickel, they're steel. Hit it with a magnet, And we made this offer a few weeks ago. If you have any type of metal that you want analyzed, just contact us here at iScrap, send us a sample, and we'll give you a reading on what it is to help you learn what materials you have, and of course, to help you make more money with your scrap. Now, with those copper prices stabilizing in the $4 range, which we're very happy with, we're looking at future uses. We're looking at future growth going into the second quarter of 2021. Now, many of the articles, news feeds, podcasts, and broadcasts that I've watched, listened to, and conversations I've had shows a lot of people questioning where the markets are going to go, thinking that that $5 unicorn number that we saw out there that we've talked about is still a very realistic possibility. But one thing we're really looking for is more stabilization in the market, more people getting back to work. Recent unemployment numbers at 6% are now predicted to go as low as 4% by the end of 2021. Now, why is that important to copper? Well, the more people that are working, the more manufacturing that's going to be getting done, the more products are being bought, and the economic recovery from COVID is going to continue its course. We're going to have more people back into the labor pool. Pre-pandemic levels is what it's looking like from predictions, as there is a massive desire for more workers. But one of the problems we have is a lot of the companies can't hire and train as quickly as they want to, leaving them in a little bit of a qualm. We're looking at some things like chips, processors. Car companies are having massive delays, not because of metals coming in, but because of some of the precious metals that they are not able to get, platinum, gold, silver, as readily as they normally could, disrupting those supply chains. We heard about 2 different car manufacturers that sent their employees home for a couple of weeks so they could build up their supply of chips and different metals to be able to create the new cars. And it has become a real big problem with the supply chain being broken. And it's been really interesting to see what's going to be going on. But we are seeing predictions that by the end of 2021, with those unemployment numbers ticking lower, as the unemployment numbers tick lower, we're expecting the metal prices to increase. And even though steel prices haven't really moved in the last couple of weeks, that's one item that we're really paying close attention to. Now, with those steel prices not moving for 6 weeks or so, slightly down, but hey, that's not the end of the world. Beggars can't be choosers, but scrappers can be scrappers. And while we look for scrap, we try to be able to get more material from the different scrappers that are out there and learning what their flows are looking like. Now, talking to many of my friends across the country that own scrap yards, we're going to be featuring them in some of the podcast interviews over the coming months. And if there are questions that you have for a scrapyard owner that I can't answer, let us know. Whether it's about brokering large supplies, when to hold, when to sell, when to buy from other scrappers, or when to put money out there from companies to help grow your scrap business, or even get some more material if it's a part-time or a hobbyist type of a thing. These are all questions that we're looking to ask, or excuse me, that we're looking to answer from all of you. Now, with those steel prices stabilizing, one thing we're really looking for is oil prices. Now, we saw the oil demand creep up over the last few days, but it's been a little bit of a roller coaster over the last 6 weeks, with the market increases going up, with national prices for gas ticking higher, over $2.90 per gallon. But we're watching the commodity oil, the crude oil, that sweet crude they call it, out of Texas. We're watching a lot of these things, as well as news coming out from OPEC overseas, to see where the different supply and demand for oil is. That will have a massive impact on the steel market moving into the third quarter of 2021. Not as much the second quarter, because we're already in the middle of April almost. So we already see that we have another 2 to 3 months to really stabilize the supply chains, to stabilize the prices, to get a better idea where we're going. So here we are, talked about copper, talked about steel, talked about our podcast, Scrap You Later. What do we want to talk about next? Well, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Now, rrcats.com has been quoting customers every single day, buying catalytic converters every single day in a way unlike many others. The team at rrcats.com shares and gives you more transparency into the industry, letting you know where the prices are for rhodium, platinum, palladium. When the markets are up, we at iScrap try to give you national scrap prices every single day on the homepage, so you know if the national averages for different types of catalytic converters is higher or lower. But it looks like we have another question to answer.
We have a question from Mile. Asked, what is the highest paying catalytic converters?
Mile, great question. There are a few different ones that you want to be able to look for. One is called a Doosan. It comes out of a specialty machine, not a common cat that you're going to see every single day. Another one that's really strong, torpedo catalytic converters, with many codes on them, from YC2C or 2W or Y7s. There's a lot of different spins on those torpedo codes, but the 4 digits that start with Y2C2, those are some of the most valuable ones, with quotes going out as recent as an hour ago, over $1,475 per catalytic converter for OEM and full units. Yes, we have another question? No? Okay, so here we are. Catalytic converter markets have been very strong. Rhodium markets creeping back towards the all-time high, over $28,000. Don't forget, a few weeks ago, we saw that large 25% reduction in rhodium markets, from 28,000 to 21,000 in a matter of 2 or 3 days. So these are still possibilities that could happen overall in the markets that we look for and try to give to you through rrcats.com, and of course through the iScrap app. Now, with the catalytic converter market strong, with copper strong, with steel strong, one of the things that we spotlighted in this week's report was aluminum. Aluminum tariffs are still in place, but aluminum prices have continued to strengthen, and we're seeing aluminum rim averages in the 55 to 65 cent per pound range. We're seeing sheet aluminum prices coming in at 41, 47, 52 cents per pound. These markets are climbing. Siding markets, 50 cents, 60 cent prices that we've seen reported. And look forward to our new 2.0 release of iScrap in the coming months. What's 2.0? We'll give you a small sneak peek. It's going to give you even more transparency into the market. It's going to give you the ability to learn about the markets more, learn about scrap yards in your area, learn about what you're getting paid versus what you could be getting paid, and give you the opportunity to make more money with your scrap. Now, scrappers, don't forget, we love making videos. And while my wife might not want to hear my voice all the time, I found that many scrappers want to hear how to make more money. So unfortunately, I can't really alter my voice, but I'd love to make videos to help you make more money with your scrap. Coming up, we're going to be recording a few different types of videos. Different electronic separation, different types of catalytic converter grades, and how to find serial codes. We're also going to be having some nice videos made to teach you more about catalytic converters, more about copper, of course, what you want to hear about. Don't forget, looking for more information, looking for one-on-one coaching to learn about the scrap industry more, our Patreon supporters are fantastic individuals who have done just that. They've been able to sign on, become supporters of ours, get different pieces of news pushed to them outside of the regularly scheduled iScrap notifications that are sent to your Droid and iPhone devices. And we want to help you make more money with your scrap by sharing more insight, more details into the copper and other metals market that are out there, scrappers. By becoming a Patreon supporter today, let us help you make more money with your scrap. Scrappers, this is Tom from the iScrap app. Today is Wednesday, April 7th, 2021. We love hearing your questions. We love answering them. We love seeing your feedback, good, bad, or just saying thanks for the report. The more you give to us, the more we want to give back to you. Stay safe, stay healthy, and like always, I'll scrap you later.
Before we wrap things up, we have another question.
Oh, we're not live. April Fools!
Oh, that was a good one.
We do have a question though.
Oh, okay.
Why?
I'd love to see my face reaction because I thought I was doing a really good job.
Oh, I didn't do the polls.